Oh yes, legends, we are live. How is everybody doing? Make sure to absolutely destroy that like button on your way in. Are we in for a good one? Do we have the diamond top pattern, something that we were speculating on yesterday's stream? Make sure to destroy that like button, guys, on your way in, because we are going to be talking about this. All right, now this is a higher time frame pattern. Is it going to come into fruition right in the next coming days? Oh my goodness, it doesn't look too great. The moment you start forming a topping pattern such as this one, the diamond top pattern, guys, anybody that is not aware, this is not the most beautiful price action that we want to see, especially at an all-time high, right? Anybody that is not aware of a diamond top reversal pattern, this is what it looks like, right? Where you get big volatility in the middle and then you kind of form some choppiness. Should we be worried, guys, about this scenario, the diamond top pattern? Now, this is very good if it does form at the bottom of a trend, but we've been uptrending throughout the last week. So forming at a top, it's not the greatest price action that we want to see. Now, when you're coming from a downtrend, then yeah, that is epic. You look for a reversal, right? You're coming from a downtrend and you form this pattern, right? A lot of volatility in the center, and then it kind of squeezes out. Right now, on the daily time frame, 4-hourly time frame, you do form this volatility, and now it does look like that this pattern is kind of consolidating. Now, in a bull market, I have seen diamond patterns break to the upside, but when you come from an uptrend, there is ever so slightly higher probabilities in breaking to the downside, and it's not by much, guys. Usually when you have patterns, there is higher probability in breaking either up or down, such as a bull flag, right? Or a pennant. In this case, this one has something around about 55 to 60% probabilities in playing out on the bearish case, okay? So ever so slightly bearish probabilities on the pattern formation. We are traders, we are day traders. Regardless of this pattern and the possibility of a reversal, we look for levels to trade, right? We scalp and we day trade the internal levels. So today, as always, we'll be focusing on the Bitcoin technical analysis throughout the first 30-40 minutes on average of the stream. Try and come to the conclusion, mapping up here this scenario, okay? The different probabilities that could happen here on the chart, okay? For the next coming days. Make sure to smash it up, guys. I want to see that like button getting absolutely crushed, okay? Let's get to at least 200 likes. Smash it up, guys, if you're going to enjoy the content today. You enjoy the content in general. We're going to be talking about some altcoins. I want to listen to you guys on altcoins as well, okay? This is the moment that we need to be ready. The next coming weeks, I do expect the price of many altcoins, okay, many altcoins, including most of the altcoins, to start getting a reversal, right? The ones that haven't been pumping much, there's some of the ones that have been pumping some pretty nicely, getting, you know, a pretty nice bounce of 20, 30, 40%. Some of the ones not doing much, okay? But overall, I am expecting a potential massive move on altcoins. We are testing and consolidating on the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, the previous all-time high. When we consolidate here, this is getting ready for a breakout. I have to tell you, it is getting ready. Usually when you double top, you would want to see the price action start correcting pretty aggressively once you hit the highs, right? And confirm that bear market, right? Or the double top scenario. But we are consolidating here, right? The last time that we did see the retest on the altcoin market cap, right? Down here in 2021 in February, right? It's going to be February next month, right? In the next 8 days, right? Less than 8 days, sorry, my bad, it's February. So in the next 6 days, we're already entering, no, my bad, it's January. Thinking it was February already. in the next, 9 days, we enter into February. This is when we started getting a breakout, okay? We don't need to move exactly like the 4-year cycle, but we've been moving pretty similar, actually moving ever so slightly faster throughout this cycle, okay? So we are just here on altcoins, testing the previous high and consolidating here for the last couple of months, right? Give or take 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 weeks or so, right? Since November, late November. That's what happened right over here. We did manage to break out pretty successfully in a matter of a few weeks. March, April was the months that we did see the altcoins move to the upside significantly. Will we see the same happening according to the 4-year cycle? This is the exact time, guys, from this high over here to the breakout is the exact same timing. There is a few weeks of difference, okay, I have to say. Let's just measure it with the Fibonacci tool, right, to see the timing. Timing from the previous high right there to the breakout, right? And then we get this measured move to the highs right there. We are there, guys. We are at the 1-to-1, as you can see. This blue vertical line is the same timing from here to here, from here to here. So is it the moment, right? March, April, is it the moment that we finally get that altcoin season, guys? I got a big bag of altcoins that are not doing anything, right? They're actually even going slightly to the downside. We don't like that, right? Of course, if you get into these niches, right, the last few weeks, you're going to make some pretty crazy gains, or you get a lot of volatility. If you buy at the wrong moment, you'll be down 40, 50, 60%, right? You're going to be careful and buy at the right moment on these different niches, right? Or these different altcoins that are launching, right? On deck screen, for example, right? So you want to be very, very cautious. There's many being launched every single day here, which is a complete gamble, right? It's a complete gamble without a doubt. And what we do here is trading. What we like to do is trading here and analyze the high probability movements on the channel. I'm going to talk about some, levels and some trading setups that I've been doing also throughout the last 24 hours. I mean, I did scale up from my long position and, taken most of the profits on that movement to the upside. This was explained throughout yesterday's stream. A good long position right over here. There was also a good long right at this zone after the breakout, okay, because we did get a retest at the anchored VWAP, okay. Just want to give a little bit of education throughout this stream. Some things that were mentioned in the Legends trading community throughout yesterday. So we did reject finally from this level here yesterday. We had the anchored VWAP from all-time high, right? That's one level that we did have. Where do we have it? Anchored VWAP from the all-time high. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so we did get that rejection. This was also the point of control from this entire range, right? Basically the diamond pattern formation. We did get that volatility, high volume node right over here where we were getting the resistance with the anchored VWAP with the 50% Fibonacci retracement, getting a pullback of just about $1,000, right? Give or take 1,500 or so, right? Nice little pullback. There was big resistance. However, there was a scenario that was talked about on yesterday's updates on the Legends trading community, which was basically, I'm going to share with you that right now, the possibility of breaking out this anchored VWAP and making a basic resistance support flip, right? So we did get the breakout with a significant move with some pretty decent volume, right? We did have that breakout from this resistance, and the anchored VWAP that got resistance from all-time high flipped into support beautifully. So if we were to break out from here, this could be your local support to test the highs again and potentially continue to the upside, right? So This was on yesterday's video update. If we do manage to break above the anchored VWAP and the point of control, I would be looking for that level to flip as support if we break with high volume and get the next leg to the upside to attempt to break the highs, basically, right? So just a little bit of education, looking at different scenarios where we could find those different trading opportunities, guys, here in the Legends trading community. By the way, if you are interested in joining, where you have the modules, different coaches, myself providing education and setups every single day, you have the third link down below, guys, for the Legends trading community, okay? You have the modules, the videos that go step by step on, you know, teaching you how to spot these different confluence levels and, you know, look for trading setups. Now, looking at the price action today, because we got a beautiful rally and now we're just slowly grinding to the downside. This was an acceptable long position that we did have today, attempting a possibility of the price moving to higher levels, because this was forming a little bit of a wedgie structure right there. Okay, a little bit of a wedgie structure. We were finding support in this zone based on the point of control of this entire range, right? Matter of fact, if we do get the entire range of this diamond, right, speculative diamond pattern, where we were holding today, and this was an acceptable long position. Matter of fact, I was adding to my long position here ever so slightly from the long yesterday, profiting as much as I could and just taking most of the profits and being very defensive with that long position here. Oh, actually, the stop loss didn't trigger, but managed to profit. Okay, I'm going to close this position because, you know, we're breaking down at the moment. But overall, you know, managed to profit significantly from that trade yesterday. Now, stop loss didn't, maybe it was part stop loss. But I'm going to get out of that position. Is this a good long position? Well, we are breaking down at the moment. So going to remain patient and we're going to analyze what are the next levels of support. There is something that I do not like of this move, and I'm going to explain what I don't like. Well, first of all, we are losing the point of control of this range of the last week, okay? Surprised that stop loss didn't trigger. Must have been a part stop loss. But overall did manage to profit here significantly from this movement up. Did not want to be in that trade, but overall all of the profits were taken. So this was an acceptable attempt to long. We were looking at double bottoms, see if we do get the breakout, be very defensive with your stop loss, take most of the profits if you long from lower, and if you long from this level, just be defensive and look for the breakout of this wedgie structure. But this is a classic fake out, right? Classic fake out where you get the break of the wedge. We're breaking out. It looks good. We're uptrending, and then you roll back down, right? Ending up in a fake out for the moment. So let's analyze a little bit. What other levels do we have of support? Levels that I would be interested. Now let's try and map here the diamond pattern that would be, you know, you would arguably discuss. You're taking it from this zone right over here. So you can see that diamond formation that's not looking too great, right? This is not great price action, Legends, I have to say. Not too convincing. And there is a bearish case that was mentioned throughout yesterday's stream. What if this is going to be a zigzag, right? What if this is going to be a zigzag right there? We're getting the breakdown at the moment. And the main reason why we're getting the breakdown, I'm not interested in long in here where we are at the moment, which I'll explain why in just a few minutes, okay? Even though the price looks like we're forming a diamond pattern, the price does look quite bearish. We were speculating on this pattern yesterday, and it looks like with this lower high that, you know, we are in that formation. So we could be coming down to the lows of support here at 102,000, 103,000 range, right? It does look like there is a chance that we are going to go slightly lower levels, right? So even though this looks like a bearish pattern, even though this looks scary, even though the target zone is, you know, pretty aggressive, which is the width, okay, of the diamond from that point, right, from the center looking for a breakdown to below $100,000, going down to $95,000, $94,000 range. Could we go that low? Well, we just have to look at the pattern here in the next coming days, right? But overall, we were talking about a diamond reversal pattern right over here, guys. Who remembers this diamond pattern? There was a beautiful diamond pattern right there, which we were talking about, right? And this is a diamond bottom pattern. It's a diamond bottom pattern, and it broke out pretty successfully, obviously continuing the uptrend, right? This was mentioned back in, the summer of 2024. Now, this was a bottom pattern where you're coming from a downtrend, right? You are coming from a downtrend, and it ended up in this reversal. We were talking about this for many weeks back in the day. This is a much smaller one on the lower time frame. I wouldn't expect a big major breakdown, okay? So nevertheless, we would still be inside of this zone, right? I would not expect the price to really break down successfully from $90,000, right? That would be kind of scary. Even though there is a possibility, there is a local bearish count, but I am expecting new all-time highs eventually in the next coming weeks. And that has to do with this movement to the upside not being a finished move. Not being a finished move, guys, all right? And I'm pretty confident that new all-time highs will happen for Bitcoin in the coming weeks, regardless of the local bearishness, right? Regardless of this diamondy pattern that doesn't look too great, guys. It doesn't look awesome. So the main reason that I am looking for an all-time high has to do with this movement to the upside. It looks like an unfinished move up. It's an unfinished move up. Very rare for this to be a one wave or an A wave, this a corrective wave, and this being, another wave right there. This is just not classic price action. You would not, this has been very one wavy. It's been very fast compared to the timing. There's no clear 5 waves. There's no clear 3 waves up, right? So overall, this is not a finished impulsive move to the upside, meaning that new all-time highs is likely despite any type of correction that happens in this area. And I'm going to explain a few of those different corrections that could happen, right? A few of them that could happen. Now, we're going to be zooming in here on the 15-minute time frame on the price of Bitcoin. I want to say hello to the beautiful community, okay? Right away, say hello to everyone. I am out of the long trades, didn't manage to short, okay? I did not see a clear short position throughout. I mean, this was already late last night, so overall, no shorts to be taken for me here yesterday. I'm in no short positions, currently in no long positions, just closed the rest of the long here that was managed here throughout yesterday's bounce, adding to the position, trying to maximize a little bit of the profits from this uptrend, and currently in no position, just closed the rest of the position right now. But we're going to be trying to spot some good positions, guys. Remember, if you are interested in trading with me, Weeks has the best deal down below in the description. You get 50% fee discount, $20,000 deposit bonus. The more you trade, the more airdrops you're going to get, guys. Remember this. You have the link down below. Matter of fact, there is a competition going on as well. You got the link down below, 50% fee reduction, $20,000 deposit bonus, and you have the competition going on where you can win a Mercedes. There's 150,000 prize pool, okay? Depending on how you do with your P&L, where you can definitely scratch one of these, great perks, right? That they do have a Rolex as well. Check it out, guys. You have the link as well for the competition. So right now, on the price of Bitcoin, did not manage to short. I am out of the longs. What comes next? What are the levels that I am paying attention? Some of them are going to be shared in this live stream. Let's get that diamond out of the way and try and analyze the local levels that we have here, most importantly, right? So I'm not sure if you guys want me to go focus a little bit on Elliott wave theory, first of all, or we go directly to the biggest levels of support based on confluence and the biggest levels of resistance that I would be interested in getting into a setup, okay? I'm going to start off with the confluence levels, right? The strongest levels of support and resistance that we're going to try and identify on stream, okay? Now, where we got resistance as well yesterday was the previous week highs. Previous week highs is where we got resistance. That was basically right over here, right? Previous week high was here on Sunday. That's basically where we got resistance, kind of a back test, right? So you end up in a failed breakout and then you back test that level, getting the resistance. So it's basically a back test from the previous week high. Also, to kind of continue with this bearish pattern, right? If you are going to form a diamond formation, which looks like you are forming, you want to form a lower high at some stage here, right? So it's kind of expected that the price is going to form a lower high when you create this volatile move on the diamond formation, right? A lower high is highly likely, and not hitting all-time high is unlikely, right? And hitting all-time high is unlikely. So overall, let's talk about levels, guys. Let's talk about levels, where the price could get resistance, where the price could get a bounce. Okay, so let's focus right away on the TA and pull out the session volume profile. Session volume profile, where we are getting back inside. We are inside of the previous day value levels, okay? We're back inside the previous day value levels, as you can see, right? We opened inside, losing the previous day point of control, you could arguably discuss, right, from this area, getting beneath it, and now just inside, filling this inefficiency, right, this candlestick that we did form throughout yesterday's pump, right? As we broke here, the last higher low, this one right over here, you can see how the price action is trying to maintain that level as support. It is trying. It has a chance. This is basically the bottom here. It's a great swing failure pattern level, looking for double bottoms. We actually look for that long position in the Legends trading community, realizing that this could be a reversal point. We had a chance. We're managing risk. On the breakdown, we are out of the position, right? No longs here to hold or adding to the position just in case this gets aggressive. You don't want to hold any big positions, right? If you don't hold the support, you're out of the position. That is it, right? And you try and long at the lowest level possible on those local double bottoms, right? That's what we're looking for here in the Legends trading community, managing risk very, very well, where we are looking for, you know, hey, this is a very acceptable zone to look for double bottoms, right? We did get a rally of $600-700. We attempted to hold on this range, but we finally broke down, right? We finally bounced and we did not have much steam. Matter of fact, we were forming local bearish CVD divergence, and that is the moment you want to be very defensive. Where were we forming bearish CVD divergence? Well, right over here, we were seeing some significant longs entering the market, and you can see here from this pivot, right, ever so slightly, you were forming some higher highs right there. Also on the rest of exchanges in the blue, right, you're forming higher highs, lower highs on the price action, targeting the lows, not bringing much steam here, getting absorption. People want to long this level. We were longing as well at lower levels, right, with the local double bottoms, attempting here, managing risk with stop loss, and the price finally rolling down based on the bearish CVD divergence, right? You got lots of longs entering here and being absorbed by limit shorts, people following the downtrend saying, not this time, bulls, you are not going to break up and it's going to break down. So overall, moving down right now, filling this candlestick, right? It's just a classic zone where you would not be interested in any long position. And shorting is a little bit difficult, right? You just need to jump into the short if you're a breakout trader, right? You break support, let's jump on the short as we're breaking down. It can become very risky because you could get a fake out scenario, okay? So breaking you know, getting into a short on the breakout of a support or a breakout of a resistance along can be very complex because there's a lot of fake outs on Bitcoin and crypto in general, right? So this is a no trade zone for me at the moment. Now we come into the lows, right, where there's probably an order block there on the ever so slightly lower time frames, right? You got a bit of you know, a consolidation zone from the start of the major pump. We're probably hitting some Fibonacci level, possibly the 7/8 Fibonacci from the low to the high. Yeah, 7/8 Fibonacci is what is holding at the moment. There's no clear Gartley pattern, I have to say. If there were to be a nice symmetrical Gartley pattern, then I would attempt a long position, but I don't like it too much. I don't like it. I think we could be breaking down here to lower levels. This support is not too convincing for me. I mean, we are forming bullish CVD divergence. We are forming bullish CVD divergence when we zoom out from this pivot low. Okay, we got significant bullish CVD divergence right over here. You got lower lows on the CVD, also in the blue right there. So we are forming some bullish CVDs. Not sure if it is enough for me at the 7/8 Fibonacci to be confident in a long position. Not a great long for me personally, based on stop loss. We're moving down a little bit aggressive, getting a little bit of a reaction right there. Not much confluence. There is a little bit of a lack of confluence here. Let me just double check. Yeah, the anchored VWAP was lost as well from this pivot low. Not much support. There is a stronger level of support that I'm going to share with you right now on the stream, which I would be interested in jumping it along if we do get down there, okay? I'll explain that level right away. And you probably know which level it is. You know which level it is potentially. It is this pivot low right over here. This is a nice liquidity grab from a higher low that was formed yesterday. But not only that, we do have the golden pocket. Now there is a situation here. We're hitting 50% from the lows of yesterday to the highs of today. 7/8 and the 50%, double Fibonacci confluence from the two pivots. Right, from this pivot, 7/8 Fibonacci, from this pivot, 50% Fibonacci, which is getting a little bit of a reaction at the moment. But there is even a better level for me, which is this one right over here. This is a classic liquidity grab zone, and it is where the golden pocket is. The golden pocket from the pivot low to the pivot high of yesterday is sitting where we have a higher low. So is that level a good level here for a liquidity grab, a swing failure pattern, and a significant bounce? Absolutely yes. It's a level that I am paying attention here, right? So I'm remaining patient right now. If the price bounces from this level, well, so be it, right? It's just not a good level that I would get into just based on stop loss, right? You need to manage risk. You need to know where you're putting your stop loss and where your invalidation is. And for the moment, for me here, for a stop loss, right, it's a situation. If I get into a long, which is my projected target, analyzing the waves, analyzing the local waves, very, very confusing. Could it be a little bit of a three-wave move right there? Could it be a bit of a three-waver? Not too convincing for me to believe that this is going to be a higher low and we are going to rocket from this zone. There is a lack of confluence. There is a lack of confluence for me to believe that the price is going to bounce here. If I am going to take a long attempt, it will be right over here. And for shorts, if I want to look for a short position, if we bounce, would I be interested in a short? This price action from yesterday looks much more impulsive than this movement, right? So I would be a little bit cautious with short positions because you could get a full-on reversal, right? So this could be an end of a movement. This looking very corrective still. So I'm not interested in a short either in this zone. I would rather prefer wait for this level if it does come and get into a long position. So that is the level that we'll be paying attention here on stream. And if we bounce from this zone, there's no shorts that I'm interested in. No shorts that I'm interested in unless we go to much higher levels. Okay, so right now there is a ever so slightly support. Ever so slight support. We got 7/8 Fibonacci from this pivot low to the high. 50% from this pivot low to this high right there. There is a little bit of Fibonacci confluence, right? 50% and 7/8 from these two pivots. But it's, we got bullish CVDs, bullish CVD divergence, but it's not enough. We're probably getting a little bounce right now from this area. You can trade the fib levels and put stop loss beneath the Fibonacci levels and be defensive on the pump. It is a zone where the price could get a little bounce. Matter of fact, we are getting a bit of a bounce at the moment. Price is bouncing ever so slightly here. Yeah, the thing is, when you want to get into one of these trades, the best stop loss, the best risk management is putting your stop loss beneath the Fibonacci levels, give or take a little bit of room, right? So, you can see how the 50% and the 7/8 from those pivots are getting that reaction. And if you are speculating in a long position here, the best thing that you can do to manage risk is just, give or take a bit of room of stop loss. And if you get the bounce, then you can already be a little bit defensive with your stop, minimize those losses. But those fib levels are getting a bit of a reaction. Now, there is a chance here for the price to recover just purely based on the massive bullish CVD divergence that you're forming from this pivot low. You are getting lots of shorts entering the market on this breakdown, and you are getting higher lows and lower lows on the CVD on all exchanges from this pivot. So there is a chance, let's leave it that way, there is a chance of the price getting a significant bounce from this level. Fibonacci confluence. Analyzing a little bit of the waves that we did form yesterday. We did form from this pivot low, right? I'm interested in this movement. What does this movement to the upside look like? Does it look impulsive? Does it look corrective? How many waves do we have? Well, for the moment, we can clearly count from the lows here of yesterday, a nice movement up like this, right? We've got a nice leg up, nice correction, higher low. This was the level that we, looked for a long position. Yesterday, I was in a long position exactly at this level because it was a back test of a daily. And we had a very good bullish CVD divergence. So I managed to catch that long position right over here. There was this explained on the live stream yesterday. There's a back test of the daily, bullish CVD divergence, targeting at least the highs, and we had continuation up. Now, looking at those waves, we have a 1-2 right there. Could have this been a 3 and a 4? Well, there's overlap, right? It's not looking too sexy. When you have overlap, you need to start thinking of diagonals, right? Either contracting or expanding. So from your wave 2 to your wave 4, you have this. And from your wave 1 to your wave 3 right over here, you could arguably discuss. And then you get in the breakout. It is a little bit contracting. Wave 5s usually get out of a contracting move ever so slightly. So could have this been a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. Now, there is a situation with this one because your wave 5, if it is longer than your wave 3, then it's not a Yeah, it's an invalidation. So this cannot be a contracting. So you still need to think corrective. This was not impulsive. You still need to look at a possible correction right over here. And what comes to my mind is a double zigzag, where you have a zigzag here. You have a zigzag, very small one right over here, because if you do zoom in, this was very zigzaggy, right? You got a three-wave structure. We need to zoom in on the lower time frames to micro count this. Yeah, this was a three-wave move down, right? So you had a three-wave move down here, eventually corrective, right? There's a three-wave move down. And from this low, you had a three-wave move over here. And then you have another three-wave move up. So you need to think about a possibility of a double zigzag in a WXY. Double zigzag right over here. So, yeah, not impulsive, more corrective, as you don't have clear 5 waves up, right? Lots of overlap. This has to be part of a corrective move in a WXY. So now the question is, double zigzag right over here. For me, it's pretty clear. This is not impulsive. It is very corrective. No strength, no big impulsive moves, lots of overlap. You need to start thinking of, you know, double zigzag, triple zigzag, you know, different corrective structures. So as I come to that conclusion with this movement, we need to zoom out ever so slightly here, because this is what is very confusing. The price action that we formed throughout last week as well, right? Especially this massive volatility forming the diamond pattern, right? This is just not the best price action that you want to see when you've been rallying, right? It's just not the best price action that you want to see for continuation. And I've seen diamond, you know, reversal patterns, in this case a top pattern, break to the upside. You know, this has happened in the previous bull run. I remember seeing diamond top patterns just breaking out to the upside. So, but when we at all-time high, right, we had the Donald Trump pump right there, inauguration day from Monday. Was this kind of it, right? Was that it? You know, we need kind of more news, right? We need something more bullish to get the price action breaking out. So this does not look incredibly great, I have to say, especially with this movement up. Now, there is still a possibility of the price breaking to the upside. However, I would be very skeptical of this movement being very bullish. Could we go to $112,000, $115,000? Absolutely yes. But I would see that price action not as a very strong bullish move. And the main reason why is because the most bullish case scenario does not make too much sense if we were to get an explosive move out, go to $120,000 Bitcoin, right? It's all about this price action up. When we take a look at this price action to the upside and try and analyze how we moved up here and formed this big fat mess, right? This big fat mess right over here. The bullish count, there's one bullish count, which I don't think it's going to happen, okay? The most bullish count we're going to talk about, which is an expanding wave 1 right there, because you can count 5 waves in this structure. This being your wave 2, very shallow, very rare. Your wave 3 right there, wave 4 and wave 5, right? The third wave, most importantly, not being the shortest wave, and an expanding wave 1, which is rare, but it does happen, just like an expanding wave 5, as long as your wave 3 is not the shortest and your wave 4 does not overlap wave 1, then you have a valid count. Looking at this movement incredibly fast, this would have to be a flat structure, right? You would have to consider this as a flat right there in your wave 2, right? All of this has been your wave 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1. a flat movement, wave 2, and now you have your first initial wave 1, which is very hard to count as an impulse this, okay? Lots of overlap, no big volume on a wave 3, okay? You have 7 spikes, okay? 7 peaks. There's no clear 5-wave move in this movement, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? You got 4 spikes, giving you the possibility of 7 waves. You need to start thinking of a double zigzag right there, which is corrective. Not too convincing for this to be an impulsive move. Now, if this were to be an impulsive move right there, and this has been your flat, right? You form a very, 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 very sharp running flat, not taking out the low, which is already rare by itself. Running flats are very, very rare flats. You usually take out the low of a wave. So this is an unlikely scenario, okay? Let's just keep it that way. It's possible, but it's the one that has, I would have to say, less probability. It's the one with less probability, in my opinion. An expanding wave 1 is already an unlikely scenario. A running flat is, you know, very rare. So you're adding all of the rareness into the possibility here. So the continuation up from here, this being a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, 4, 5 is a rare, would be very rare, okay? Is it possible? Absolutely. But I think it is the one with less possibilities. If this were to be the case, that this has been impulsive, and this is a corrective structure, and we're going to absolutely moon in a third wave here very soon in the next 1 to 2 days, then you should not break down successfully from the 50% to the 7/8 Fibonacci, right? We are bouncing currently right now at the 50% Fibonacci, right? So that is already hitting a minimum target zone most commonly for your wave 2, and we are exactly bouncing there. So could have this been the low if we see the bullish case, right? You either bounce from the 50%, the 618, or the 7/8, right, in this zone for your wave 2. So could have this been the low, and we're going to get an epic bounce from here now in the next coming hours, in the next coming days. I didn't like too much this long, me personally. But if you wanted to be an absolute sniper, you sniper the 50% Fibonacci, right, from the low of the high. If you're considering this an impulse, you have a couple of chances here to sniper some longs at good levels. One of them is this one, the 50% Fibonacci, which is bouncing now a few $100s, right, as we speak. Already bouncing $500-600 pretty nicely. So aggressive entry, you need to manage risk with stop loss. Beneath the 50% Fibonacci, give or take a bit of room. If you get the bounce, you can already run a free trade, right, with your stop loss. Another level, right? Let's just say that this is not a finished correction right there. This looks very one wavy, very one wavy. The only chance that you have here for this, in my opinion, is this is one wave, right? Corrective. This could be another wave. This little bounce that we had today, you could consider it as another wave as we are breaking down. Very shallow, very quick, not easy, okay? Preferably you get a little bit more of a bounce. Just hitting the 382 Fibonacci from this movement, right? You would consider it as a wave right there. So you have a little bit of a 3-wave at the moment. Preferably the third wave, you want it a little bit more powerful than the first wave, usually, right? Or similar, or usually you have it a little bit more aggressive than your A wave or than your 1 wave, right? If this were to be a 1 wave and this a 2, obviously the third wave, you know, gets a little bit messy. But we're going to be, speculating that the range could continue, right? We are in a big range from the highs to the lows, and we could be forming a bit of a triangle situation here or, you know, the most bullish one is a 1-2, boom, we're currently rocketing here to all-time highs in the next coming days. We need to consider that scenario regardless if it is not highly likely, guys, because many times on the channel, I will say, guys, this is unlikely to happen, and then it happens, right? So unlikely scenarios, you know, based on the analysis, they do happen, right? So we're talking about probabilities here. There's more probabilities for this scenario than this one, but then the less probable one happens, right? And we know the levels where the price could bounce. So it's all about, should I take action on a trading setup at this level and speculate on the less probable scenario if you want to hold on into that day trade and turn it into a swing trade, right? So like mentioned, if we are looking at the most bullish case, which this is a wave one, that doesn't look very nice, guys. I have to say, this is a very, very difficult impulsive structure to count right there. But you know, you have to give it a possibility. I mean, if we count this as a wave 1, 2, 3, the only thing that comes to my mind, but this, yeah, it's just, yeah, it wouldn't work either. It would not work to count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4. There's overlap here, so you need to think contracting move. This the wave 5. And this a flat. The problem with this flat is that the C wave is extremely long in time. So it just doesn't look, too great. In an ABC flat, the moment you get twice the time the length from your A wave and your B wave, which is 3-4 times longer or something like that. I haven't measured it, but you can see how long that C wave is. It just decreases the potential of this being an ABC flat so long, right? The C wave. But it's possible. Less possible, but it's possible, right? But that would have to be the conclusion if we're suddenly going to rocket from here at the 50% Fibonacci. And I have to say, I would happily say that I've missed the long position at the 50%, guys. I mean, if this suddenly starts ripping from here, which I don't think is going to be the case, I would have to happily say, guys, I missed out on the long here at 50% Fibonacci if we are speculating on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. And this has to be contracting. There's no other way. There's overlap from your wave 4 and your wave 1. You know, the only bullish case would have to be this being a flat. B wave claiming the start of A wave. C wave extremely long, very rare, very, very extremely rare, claiming the lows of your A wave. And now we move up very aggressively in a wave 3. It would be very rare, but possible. Let's leave it that way. So the fact that we came down to the 50% and getting the bounce exactly at the 50% from this move can give you the chance that this could be a wave 2. And that would be, yeah, you know, that would be surprising. You know, that would be very surprising for me to see after this very, very rare, you know, structure. Not a clear impulse, up. Okay, so I'm not leaning on that side that it is possible to happen, but you know, we need to give the possibility that it could. If we do take out this high ride over here in the next coming hours, 105,700, right, give or take, it could be looking quite bullish. It could be looking quite bullish. Let's talk about the VWAP right there. Yeah, we got VWAP. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. If we take out this high, you're invalidating a strong impulsive move down. If you look at this as an impulse, right? or a movement down in a wave 1 or in an A wave, and the bounce, and this movement down, and you get the price action to reclaim this lower high, there will be high probability that this high will be taken in the next coming hours. Despite any volatile move that could happen here, you are likely, after claiming this lower high, going to push and test the highs from yesterday at $107,000. That is only if you claim that high at 105,700. Why, you may ask? Because then this will not look, the trend will be broken. That's number one, right? Keeping it simple, you'll be breaking a bit of trend. And this to be a A wave, B wave, C wave, or a 1, 2, 3, and right now on lower time frames, right? If you get back above the start of this movement down, you are invalidating the possibility of this being impulsive to the downside, right? You do not want to claim this high for the bears, because if the bears see this high being claimed, they realize that the bulls are pushing and wanting to take control again, right? You're breaking the last lower high, right? You're breaking the last lower high. This no longer looks impulsive, looks convincing for a downtrend, right? You need to form a lower high in this zone for the bears to remain in control. And the bulls want to try and push through here very nicely. Bulls are pushing through very nicely. So it is extremely important for the bears to defend this lower high, because this no longer will look a possibility for an impulsive move down. So it's going to be interesting. If this high is claimed, I will be paying attention to the movement down. We could be having a local diamond pattern here, right, for a reversal up. It will be interesting. However, yeah, the volume is very much high to the downside. We'd have to see a massive move up here. Most commonly here, if this is your first initial wave 1, golden pocket is providing the resistance right now as we speak. Yeah, this is the lower high bearish zone for the bears to defend, to get the roll back down. That is if the bears want to take control and continue this momentum to the downside. The moment we claim this high, guys, there is extreme high probability that this high will be taken, and there is a high potential that this could be the end of this correction if this high is claimed. If we do, yeah, this could be a movement up, finished movement up, finished move down if we claim this high. So what will be very interesting is considering this as a first initial wave 1, and this wave 2, and then you get the 3, right, 4, 5, and you start getting an impulsive move up. This will flip the probabilities for the bulls to actually push through and claim the yesterday's highs. But for the moment, it's not the case. We are moving down. So now the